Welcome to the Better Together podcast, where I talk about healing, human connection, and how positive intelligence can empower you no matter where you are on your growth journey. I'm your host, Nakiya. In my first episode, I gave you 5 things to know before you embarked on your healing journey. And in today's episode, I'm going to give you 10 more important truths to know about what's coming next. Buckle up, because there are some hard truths in this one, and not everyone is excited to hear about them. How you choose to process your negative emotions is the source of all of your struggles. I've only said one sentence, but I know some of you are already feeling triggered because I said choose. Yes, you do choose how you are going to react to that thing that just stirred up some negative emotions inside of you. Unfortunately, most people don't realize that they're making that choice because they have an entire lifetime of social conditioning that told them that emotions are something that happens to you instead of it being an internal alert that they should be cognizant of and work with, not against. You may have heard about learning to regulate your nervous system. Your emotional reactions to life is your nervous system. The very first thing that you're taught about as part of positive intelligence is PQ reps, a tool that teaches you to quiet your inner dialogue, your saboteurs, and reconnect with your physical body through paying attention to your senses. We start here because this is the only way to get yourself to a place of peace and calm to make thoughtful decisions instead of reacting with haste and without any thought at all. Just like you have been taught incorrectly that emotions are something that happens to you, you have also been taught that abandoning yourself is noble. Your needs, your wants, your intuition, your nervous system, all of it. And a hard truth for many to swallow is that you have abandoned yourself, sometimes without even realizing it. You're taught to abandon your authenticity and your own needs so that you can fit in with social groups, be liked, gain praise, attract a partner, excel in the workplace, or anything else that society expects of you. There is not a single major system out there that encourages you to live as your authentic self, that encourages you to find passion in what you fill your days with, or to focus on your own happiness in any way. If you're listening to this right now and you are realizing for the first time how much that you have abandoned yourself, please give yourself so much grace and love. There is one universal truth that I believe about most people, and that is that we are all doing the best we can with the information that we have. The previous version of you that did not have the information that current you just got, that version doesn't deserve to be judged or looked down upon because of their lack of knowledge. They were doing their best. You were doing your best. And now that you know more, you can make different choices so that you can ensure that your needs are met first and foremost. There is something so incredibly powerful that comes with the ability to look at past versions of yourself as someone different than you today, the you that's listening to this podcast, whether it's you from a week ago, a month ago, a year ago. Number 3, you have to let go of things that were once the thing that kept you going. As you continue on this healing path, you'll be pushed to let go and begin anew in a lot of different ways. And while stating that out loud doesn't seem so bad, to some it might even sound inviting, but you will quickly learn that it is not so easy to let go of at least some things, especially those things that were once the very reason that you survived. The beauty of growth is that it is an endless upward spiral. And each time that you're about to eclipse a season, you are faced with a choice to stick with the familiar that feels safe and predictable, or begin anew in a way that might spark fear or unease because of its lack of familiarity. Do it anyway. The biggest obstacles to growth are familiarity and a perceived sense of security. Remember, when it comes to our nervous systems, everything is life or death. Scary or unfamiliar equals potential death to our nervous systems. Mastering PQ reps allows us to communicate more effectively with our nervous system and let it know that we actually are not under attack. Trying to do that in the middle of a crisis without any practice, though, is nearly impossible. That's why it's important to build the habit during relatively easy times of life so that when you do get thrown something more challenging, you're better equipped to handle it. Letting go, especially of something that was your literal lifeline in a previous season of your life, is super hard for most people. And if we're being honest, it's the reason why so many people don't grow. They get stuck because of their fear of the unknown. They fail to build the confidence and belief in themselves that they can overcome any challenge that life throws at them. The most amazing people that I know are the ones that know beyond a shadow of a doubt that no matter what life throws at them, they can handle it. You can never predict or know everything that will happen in your life, but you can build resilience in the face of any adversity. And every time that you do that, you gain that much more confidence. You are likely lacking self-confidence. And it's no surprise because every system in our society was built on a foundation of patriarchy, control, and fear. Systems teach women especially that they are not enough nearly from birth. You're not strong enough. You're not quiet enough. You're not pretty enough. You're not submissive enough. Not smart enough. Not able to make your own decisions. And you will never be as good as or as much as a man, or more specifically, a cisgendered white man. That constant self-doubt leads so many women to defer to others to make decisions for them. The number of women who I have seen crippled by this single question breaks my heart every single time. What do you want? That's it. What do you want? Which implies so many things that you don't realize that you may have suppressed up until this point. You are worthy. Your desires are valid without a single explanation. Your needs are valid without a single explanation. You are allowed to take up space. And my favorite, you are not a burden for having your own wants and needs. Still gives me tingles because so many women don't believe that. Every one of those sentences that I just spoke could take you weeks, months, or even years to fully allow yourself to believe. There's a reason that I call it belief and balance professional coaching, because your beliefs are the strongest compass that you will ever have in your life. How many times have you allowed yourself or someone else to tell you that you're not worthy? That is likely a very deep belief tangled in a giant web of grief that must be felt fully to move through it. Please, please do yourself that giant favor of sitting with it for as long as your soul needs. Which brings me to number 5. You have to feel the negative emotions. It is a really big part of the healing process, grief and feeling all of the different negative emotions. You have to feel the pain. You have to sit in it. You know, that thing that you've been avoiding at all costs, trying to do everything but that. Yeah, you have to do that. There is no shortcut. There is no other thing to do. You have to sit in it. And a lot of people have been holding a lot of hurt in their bodies for years, if not decades, because they don't want to deal with it. I want you to think about grief and pain stored in the body as toxic, both physically and mentally. Every time that you feel pain and push it down or swallow it or avoid it, you're choosing to carry it. Not only is it heavy to carry, but it also clouds our vision and our ability to show up in a world as our truest and best selves. And the only way to release the weight of the pain is to hold it in your hands with your eyes wide open to it. This is another place where PQ reps can help, because you can start by clearing your mind with the PQ reps and then feel that pain in your body. Physically find it in your body. Do you feel a tightness in your chest or maybe a heaviness? Do you feel it in your gut or maybe your joints? Wherever it is, don't judge yourself for whatever happens while you're exploring your pain. You might cry or laugh or feel numb or cry again. You might feel a release. You might not. There is no wrong way to feel your emotions. The only wrong way is to avoid doing it at all. Fear and anxiety are besties with pain and grief. All negative emotions, right? But fear and anxiety is a common area that I work with clients on. So I want you to think about your fear and anxiety through this analogy. Let's say that there's a social group that you really want to join, but you're super scared because you don't know anybody else who's in the group and you're just unsure of humans these days. Understandable. Maybe it's a book club or a sports team or an LGBTQIA plus meetup, anything that would really interest you. Now, that fear or anxiety that you have about going, how bad is it? Does it feel like you're going to die if you go? Because your nervous system processing that fear thinks that it's going to die. But you and I both know that you are not. Now I want you to think about the other people in the group. Remember, most of the people around you have similar fears and self-doubts. Nobody ever has their life as put together as you think they do. If you talk to the people who did go, who are now in the group and have been participating for some time, what do you think that they would say about that first time? While, yes, there probably were a couple of extroverts who didn't have any fears at all, the vast majority will tell you that their emotions around it ranged anywhere from a little nervous and anxious to I had to give myself the biggest pep talk of my life to get in the car and then to turn the key and then to drive to the place. And then I had to psych myself up in the car before I went inside. All of those are valid and okay. But this is the important next part. But once I got over that initial fear and I went and I met people and I got to have the experience that I did, I feel so much better. I'm not afraid anymore and I look forward to it because there's no longer an unknown. Cliches exist for a reason. And the cliche of everything you ever wanted is on the other side of fear is one of the truest things that I have learned in this life. So stop avoiding it. Sit in that fear, sit in that anxiety. Recognize that it will not, in fact, kill you to feel unpleasant emotions. It might take you a little longer to process those emotions after the fact, but that's okay. Number 6, correcting one soul misalignment will lead to the discovery of others. As you move through the healing process towards alignment with your true wants and needs, each new thing that you learn will lead to the discovery of other things that are misaligned. Don't be discouraged. It's inevitable. And it's better for you to know now that it's coming. This is not a one and done. This is a lifelong way of being. I like to think about my beliefs as a beautiful and intricate web within me, each one interconnected with all of the rest. If you pull on one thread, it'll lead you to another and then another. I've actually come to look forward to finding those new threads because I use them as mile markers as I continue on this path of self-discovery. I alluded to this before, but remember that everything is interconnected, and I mean everything. Not just within you, but within your environments, within your culture, within your community, all the way out to the universe. Everything and everyone are interconnected. What's important to remember on this path, though, is that nothing happens in a vacuum. I am a huge fan of science and all of the advances that it has been able to make, especially within the positive intelligence framework. But there are some downsides, particularly when it comes to the scientific method, because I feel like we hear that that is the only way to justify truth. We're taught from a young age how to conduct experiments so that we can then extrapolate a cause and effect. And while that makes science a lot easier to understand, the reality is that there are always more factors at play than what we are measuring or aware of. We are very complex human beings. Just because you want to focus on fill in the blank doesn't mean that life won't also throw 3 other things at you at the exact same time. And it is again up to you how you choose to respond to your emotions about that. Number 8, instant gratification is the enemy of real healing work. I will die on this hill. With the advancement of technology and social media, we have become a society that is obsessed with the search for that next dopamine hit. Lose weight in weeks without diet and exercise. Take these 5 easy steps to build wealth. Download this app to make your life easier, etc. But here's the thing. All of those empty promises without any real effort will be over as quickly as they started. It is all marketing gimmicks feeding on the fact that they know that you don't want to put in the work. The reality is this. The things that will truly change your life in a meaningful way require long-term commitment and consistent habits. There is no getting around those two things. There's no shortcuts because the character that you build within yourself while working towards the thing is what makes the thing possible. It is the path. It is every step of the hike that matters, not just the beautiful view at the top. If this is a new concept for you, please believe me when I tell you that there is nothing else in life quite like the satisfaction of being able to reflect on your growth from atop the summit. To walk this healing path, you have to be willing to live a life that is different than most of the people around you. Again, it sounds easy, doesn't it? There are a lot of people out there, and especially women, who have spent their entire life judging their own success by the expectations that society puts on them. How many times have you heard the story of a woman who did all of the traditional relationship escalator things? Get a good job, find a spouse, buy a house, have a kid. to then look around and say to themselves, why am I not happy? Society told me that if I just did these things, then I would be happy. It can be a very, very harsh reality to wake up to, especially if you truly believed that. And that fall into reality is a common thread amongst the women who find me in the coaching space. Sometimes it's not that extreme, though, especially in the queer community, because we do learn to reject at least some societal expectations. I can remember an argument that I had with my wife several years ago when I was talking about a decision that I wanted to make that was different than the norm. And I said, quite frankly, I don't care what other people think or do. I want to live the life that I want. She took that as a personal attack because she did still care what other people thought. She wasn't able to reject the societal expectations yet. And she looked at me like I had grown a third eye by being able to do it so easily. Which leads me to the last thing that they don't tell you about healing. It can be a very lonely process, at least for a time, if you don't have a tribe to go on that journey with you. As I mentioned, most people are not aware of the choices that they are making around how to manage their emotions. And once you start healing and recognizing all of the self-destructive and toxic ways that people around you are acting, you will choose not to be around them. And once you have tasted peace, you will no longer tolerate chaos. And I don't say this from a place of judgment for those who are still living in this pre-programmed world. I have so much love and empathy for those people. I was one of those people for a lot of years. But growth is growth. And you will then start your search for your new tribe, which will inevitably be much harder to find than the first. I had to learn this lesson the hard way, and I am so happy to be able to offer you another option. My Better Together group coaching program gives you the tools to help build the right habits along your healing journey, and to do that with up to 4 other people just like you. They're also somewhere on their healing journey, likely losing friends that used to be close, in search of people who understand this new version of them. We build trust and psychological safety in the group on day 1 so that everyone can be fully accepted and supported in the group. We meet via Zoom once a week and keep a Voxer channel open to check in with each other at least once a day as we go. The group leans on each other as they do the hard and important healing work together. We do this for 3 months to truly build lifelong habits. And after the 3 months is up, many people from the pods choose to remain in relationship with one another in different ways. Plus, there are free monthly Zoom meetups to connect with other Better Together program graduates. You are the only one who can do this important healing work for yourself. But that doesn't mean that you cannot have people walking a similar path, standing beside you, cheering you on as you go, just like you do them. So let's recap. Number 1, you choose how to react to your emotions consciously or unconsciously. Number 2, you have been taught to abandon yourself, but you can make a different choice. Number 3, you have to let go of things, even things that were once what kept you going. 4, you are likely lacking self-confidence. 5, you have to sit with and really feel your negative emotions. 6, correcting one soul misalignment will inevitably lead to the discovery of others. 7, everything is interconnected and nothing happens in a vacuum. 8, instant gratification is the enemy of real healing work. 9, to walk this healing path, you have to be willing to live a life that is different than most of the people around you. And 10, it can be a very lonely process if you don't have a tribe to go on the journey with you. That brings us to the end of this Better Together episode. I hope you found value in some of these hard truths about the healing journey. Be sure to tune in every other week for new episodes. And don't forget to follow Belief and Balance Coaching on TikTok. If you like this episode, be sure to like, follow, and share. And if you're interested in coaching services, check out beliefandbalancecoaching.com. Until next time, keep loving yourself and leading with empathy.